father-son relationship will redefine the church. You won't have to worry about the form of what comes out of it.
Yeah.
Amen. That's good to know. Just
Yeah.
focus on that, right?
Once you
Everything
understand
will
that.
follow.
That's good.
Naturally.
There you go.
That's good. Okay, everyone.
That's it.
Good.
Okay.
Have a
All
safe
right.
trip.
Good to be family with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give
Exactly.
hugs,
Amen.
give canoe
Amen.
and yell hugs back.
Yeah. But actually, we should probably take that as a cue.
Huh?
Kind of. We should take that as a cue to kind of maybe wrap up. But we don't want to, hog cheese your whole day, but because we could and we will.
Can I just reiterate
But, yeah.
3 truths that you gave on Saturday, and I wrote it down because I feel like this really was the crux of what you shared. And you said that 3 truths everything must connect to. The first was that we're created to be the expression of God since we were created in the image and likeness of Him.
Yes.
Number 2, we were created to live in an intimate and responsive, dependent relationship with Him.
That's right.
That nothing was meant to begin with me. And I think that's so awesome in, when a person says they come to Christ. That life in Christ was meant to be responsive to Father's initiation and through my life. And number 3, man is created and meant to be built on a life of His unconditional love. Without this security, we will never understand father and sonship. Yeah.
That's the foundation of everything I do today.
Yeah.
Every meeting I do,
Yeah.
I speak those things.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that all teaching in the church must connect to those,
Yeah.
or it's less than valid for the moment that we live in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the foundational truths that concern man. Therefore, they become the destination. They become the point of what restoration is all about. And we haven't known those things in the past. We haven't emphasized those things in the past. And again, that's all part of the process that we've walked through, that God has allowed us to strive and try to produce and live in places of futility. And that's a very interesting theme throughout the Bible, futility. It's just, it says that Jesus came, Peter said Jesus came in light of the futility of the lives you lived in response to your forefathers, kind of thing. He came to show you a different way, kind of thing. So when those things began to develop in my life, whenever that was, then they began to have real significance. And I recognize that for the most part, every Christian has started from the wrong starting place. He never had those foundational truths spoken to him, and therefore he never had the opportunity to even willfully give himself to pursue those things. And it wasn't because men withheld it from him; they just couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. I majored in other things for years that seemed to be, truly significant, and they were of value. And I look back today and I realize that all of the things I majored in, they were part of the process to get me to the place where I could see those things. And now we live in that season. It's all part of this end time. The part of that fulfillment of the covenant made between the Father and the Son. It's part of the consummation of the age that we live in. It's part of the restoration of man to the original intention and the order.
It's so prevalent, or critical right now, because you know how we hear in the end times, in the end days, there will be a falling away. I mean, there will be a separation between the wheat and the chaff, and unless you really have that divine, genuine sonship, it's going to be easy to go to the right or to the left.
Oh, I think it's going to be incredibly easy. I think the pressure is going to become greater and greater.
Yeah.
In fact, I was asked a question the other night. Somebody was trying to liken the power of the technological age to control man in relationship to something that seemed to be so far removed, walking with God. And ultimately, he was saying, is man going to be overtaken by, the provision of the technological age kind of thing? He will, unless he makes another choice. And probably that choice is going to be more difficult as we move along. But
Absolutely.
I definitely feel like you said, that we're at a critical crux in history and in culture, where
Absolutely.
I'm almost thinking of when God was bringing a Messiah into the world, how there was a wholesale slaughter to try to stop it, and he's trying to bring this expression now.
That's right.
And you almost see, right, and it's ironic, but it's not coincidence that the very thing that God was trying to bring in was the very thing the enemy was trying to destroy, right? And I almost see the very same thing happening in this age, where the very thing God is bringing in this age is the very thing that the enemy is going after. And you see the darkness and the ills of our time are perpetuated from this vacuum of the Father heart, right?
Yeah.
And
in the natural and in the spirit.
yeah, and so it's like I'm excited for this prophetic word and for its fulfillment, right? Because I feel like it's what we need, you know what I mean? It's what we need to effectively minister in this time to the growing sense of fatherlessness and its fallout in our communities. And I see it all unfolding, you know, and I see us I see it being so necessary. You know, it's not, I mean,
Absolutely.
the intentionality and the urgency of us walking in this is so heavy, you know what I mean?
We need to get
But
it.
it's exciting because I feel like God has been preparing us and we are poised, you know.
That's correct.
Even in the midst of,
That's true.
and I'm not saying this, you know, in a self, you
I
know,
understand.
defeating way, but
Sure.
even in our soulish imitations, we hungered for the manifest presence of God as
that's
our
correct.
highest value.
Yeah.
And I find that, you know, if we are to contend for the restoration of the people we minister to, and if we are to draw them into the thing that they desire most without even realizing it, it will only come through the manifest presence of God and an
That's
encounter
right.
with His love,
That's exactly
which
right.
is our highest value.
That's our highest
but we
value.
just haven't known maybe why,
Yeah.
and you know, and to what end,
How
you
it
know,
fits.
and so I feel like we're there, we're on the cusp, we're
Absolutely.
ready to see
We're
this,
poised.
to see this come to fruition,
We're on the cliff's edge.
and for such a time as this, because I am just seeing, you know, that vacuum,
That's good.
just the ramifications of that. In
That's
our
good that you
society.
get it, because you're going to be around longer than we are.
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe
I'm
not.
not planning on going
Yeah,
anywhere.
yeah.
I'm not planning to go
Are you
anywhere.
planning to go somewhere
I'm
I'm not
planning to
aware
go
of? Yeah.
Absolutely.